Before the neon lights, before the endless hum of traffic and the glow of satellite signals overhead, Nevada belonged to the wind. Imagine standing in the high desert at dawn in the year 1900. The air is thin and sharp, scented with sagebrush and dust. The mountains rise in long, silent ridges, their shadows stretching across a basin that seems to go on forever. A lone rider moves slowly across the open range, horse hooves pressing into dry earth. In the distance, a small mining town clings to the hillside, its wooden buildings weathered by sun and storm. The sound of a steam whistle echoes faintly from a silver mill, a reminder that in this vast and empty land, industry has already staked its claim. At the turn of the 20th century, Nevada was still shaped by the legacy of the Comstock Lode. Decades earlier, that discovery of silver had drawn thousands westward, transforming a remote territory into a boom region that helped finance the Union during the Civil War. By 1900, the initial frenzy had cooled, but mining remained the backbone of the state's economy. Towns like Virginia City, Tonopah, and Goldfield pulsed with the promise of wealth pulled from the earth. Life revolved around the mines. Men descended into narrow shafts before sunrise, working by lamplight in conditions that were dangerous and physically punishing. Above ground, mills crushed ore day and night, their machinery clattering against the quiet of the desert. Outside of mining communities, Nevada was sparsely populated. In 1900, fewer than 50,000 people called the entire state home. Ranching families spread across wide valleys, raising cattle and sheep in a landscape defined by scarcity. Water was precious. Irrigation ditches carved through the soil determined whether crops survived or failed. Towns were small and self-contained, often little more than a few wooden storefronts, a post office, a church, and a schoolhouse. Travel between them could take days by horse or wagon. The railroad, however, was a lifeline. Steel tracks connected Nevada to California and the rest of the nation, carrying ore outward and bringing supplies, news, and newcomers inward. Daily life in 1900 Nevada demanded resilience. Homes were simple, built of timber or stone, heated by wood or coal stoves. There was no electricity in most communities. Nights were lit by oil lamps and stars so bright they seemed almost within reach. Communication with the outside world moved at the speed of telegraph wires and printed newspapers. A letter from the East Coast might take weeks to arrive. Entertainment was local and communal. Dances in town halls, traveling performers, church gatherings. In a land so open and unforgiving, community was more than companionship. It was survival. Yet, even in 1900, Nevada carried a restless energy. Boom and bust cycles defined its character. A single mineral discovery could turn a patch of desert into a bustling town overnight. And just as quickly when the ore ran dry, that same town could fade into silence, leaving behind weathered buildings and drifting sand. Ghost towns became part of the landscape, monuments to ambition and impermanence. Now, shift your gaze forward more than a century. The desert remains, the mountains still rise in quiet lines against the horizon, but the silence has been broken by a different kind of hum. It is 2026, and Nevada is home to more than 3 million people. From above, the Las Vegas Strip glows like a circuit board, pulsing with color against the dark Mojave Desert. Highways slice through valleys where stagecoaches once rolled. Planes descend in steady lines toward Harry Reid International Airport, carrying millions of visitors each year. The state that once depended almost entirely on what lay beneath its soil has reinvented itself again and again. Las Vegas, barely a railroad stop in 1900, now defines Nevada's global image. In the early 20th century, it was little more than a dusty outpost, but the construction of Hoover Dam in the 1930s changed everything. Thousands of workers arrived, bringing families and demand for entertainment. Gambling, legalized in 1931, became the cornerstone of a new economy. By 2026, Las Vegas is a worldwide symbol of spectacle and reinvention, its skyline lined with towering resorts that replicate cities, fantasies, and entire worlds under one roof. Step inside a modern casino resort and the contrast with 1900 Nevada is almost overwhelming. Climate-controlled air replaces desert heat. Digital screens flash with immersive graphics. Visitors from every continent mingle beneath ceilings painted to resemble twilight skies. Technology tracks everything from hotel reservations to gaming floors in real time. In 1900, wealth was measured in ounces of silver. In 2026, it flows through data streams, entertainment revenue, and global tourism networks. But Nevada in 2026 is more than Las Vegas. Reno, once known primarily for quick divorces and modest gaming halls, has become a growing technology hub. The state's wide-open land, once valued mainly for grazing and mining, now attracts data centers, battery factories, and renewable energy projects. Gigafactories produce lithium-ion batteries that power electric vehicles around the world. Solar farms stretch across the desert, panels angled towards the same relentless sun that once tested the endurance of ranchers and prospectors. The resource frontier has shifted from silver and gold to lithium and clean energy. Transportation tells another story of transformation. In 1900, the railroad was king and horses still carried many Nevadans from place to place. Travel was slow, deliberate, and often uncomfortable. By 2026, interstate highways crisscross the state. Electric vehicles glide along stretches of asphalt where wagon ruts once cut through dust. Commercial jets connect Las Vegas and Reno to cities across the globe in a matter of hours. Even conversations travel instantly, carried by fiber optic cables and satellites, rather than telegraph lines. Residences reflect the same dramatic shift. The wooden homes and boarding houses of mining towns have given way to sprawling suburbs, high-rise condominiums, and master-planned communities. In the Las Vegas Valley, neighborhoods expand outward into land that a century ago seemed too dry and distant to support large populations. Modern engineering channels water from the Colorado River, though ongoing drought and climate pressures remind residents that the desert still sets the terms. Conservation has become a central concern, a reminder that progress must negotiate with nature. Work in Nevada has evolved from physically grueling labor underground to a complex mix of service, technology, logistics, and advanced manufacturing. In 1900, a miner's strength and endurance determined his livelihood. Safety standards were minimal and accidents were common. By 2026, workplace regulations, automation, and robotics have reshaped labor. Casino floors rely on hospitality professionals, digital security teams, and event planners. Factories use precision engineering and data analytics. Remote work, enabled by high-speed internet, allows some Nevadans to earn a living without ever setting foot in a traditional office. Social structures have transformed as well. In 1900, Nevada's population was small and predominantly male, especially in mining regions. Women often ran boarding houses, worked as teachers, or managed households under demanding conditions. Indigenous communities, including the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe peoples, endured displacement and systemic hardship as settlers expanded across their lands. By 2026, Nevada is one of the most diverse states in the nation. Its cities reflect a blend of cultures, languages, and traditions. Tribal nations maintain cultural centers and economic enterprises, asserting sovereignty and preserving heritage in ways that were suppressed in earlier eras. Education, once limited to small schoolhouses with a single teacher instructing multiple age groups, now spans research universities, community colleges, and specialized training centers. The University of Nevada, founded in the 19th century, has grown into a major institution supporting research in fields from climate science to engineering. Students in 2026 navigate digital classrooms, online resources, and global collaborations that would have been unimaginable in 1900. The environment remains both constant and changed. The same mountain ranges define the horizon. The same desert valleys bloom briefly after rare rains. But human influence is more visible. Lake Mead, formed by the Hoover Dam, reshaped the Colorado River and became a vital water source. In recent years, its declining levels have exposed stark reminders of drought and overuse. Wildfires, intensified by climate change, threaten forests in northern Nevada. At the same time, conservation efforts, wildlife refuges, and renewable energy initiatives reveal a growing awareness of stewardship. Culturally, Nevada has traveled from frontier roughness to global stage. In 1900, its identity was tied to extraction and survival. Stories centered on prospectors, ranchers, and railroad men. In 2026, Nevada hosts international conventions, championship sporting events, and world-renowned entertainment residencies. The state that once felt isolated now broadcasts its image worldwide in real time. And yet, threads of continuity remain. The spirit of risk that drove miners into dark shafts echoes in entrepreneurs launching startups. The willingness to reinvent, to stake a claim in uncertain ground, still defines Nevada's character. Ghost towns stand preserved as historical sites, their quiet streets offering a tangible link to 1900. Visitors can walk wooden boardwalks where fortunes were won and lost, then drive a few hours to stand beneath the LED glow of a 21st century skyline. As 2026 unfolds, Nevada faces challenges as formidable as any in its past. Water scarcity, economic diversification, housing affordability, and environmental protection demand careful balance. But if history offers any lesson, it is that Nevada adapts. It has transformed from a mining frontier to an entertainment capital, to a center of emerging technologies, all within the span of little more than a century. Stand once more in the desert